Wrestling is trash. Wrestling is trash.
Oh, it's upside down. Boom.
And welcome back to another episode of Wrestling is Trash, the nonsensical podcast where we talk wrestling, professional wrestling, past, present, and quite possibly the future. I am one of your co-hosts today, Nick Anicelli, joined aside as always with my fellow trash boy, Lou. You know, the world podcasting champion, Lou. The man from the BX, Lou. How you doing today, bro?
Wonderful, bro. Fantastic. I just wanted to put this up here because we have some people out there, some fellow podcasters who feel like they have a stake and claim to this title. And I just want you to know that it's going to take a lot for any of you to take this away from me. I want you to understand this. So Top Rope Squishy, Mind Runner, if you're hearing this, if you're seeing this, understand that you will never take this belt away from me. Do you understand? Never. But besides that, everything is everything. Everything is lovely. We're here on another Trash Tuesday doing Wrestling is Trash episode 151. Lou from the BX, you already know, host of the Everything Podcast, co-host of Wrestling is Trash. And I'm good. Everything's great. Keto's great. I'm up for 2 promotions at my job.
Fuck yeah.
Let's go. I'm just ready. I'm ready to move on in that place and move up in that place and start making some of that motherfucking real money.
Yeah.
That real money.
Yep. One of them things. Money does make the world go around. Money does make the world go around. As much as people don't want to admit it from time to time. It's certainly true, though.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to go on another cruise, bro. I was over here looking at my girl sent me a link to Virgin Cruises. It's adult only cruise, so it's no kids.
Okay.
So it's just a bunch of adults on a cruise. And it goes from, well, the one I was looking at goes from Miami to Fort Lauderdale to Bahini and then back to Miami. So it's 4 nights, but I was looking at that shit and I was like, yo, this is kind of affordable and I could even break the payments down, but I should probably start making more money before I book this next cruise, like for real, because that's just going to make things so much better. But bro, have you ever been on a cruise?
Yeah, I went last year and they're so much fun. Bro, it's so much fun.
Listen, I had my first maiden voyage last year in September. I went on my first cruise. And it was fucking, dude, I caught COVID. Totally worth it. It was totally worth catching COVID for that shit. It was fantastic, bro. Royal Caribbean, Queen of the Seas. The ship was gigantic. There was just so much to do. And I definitely, if you're going to do that, I highly recommend you get the drink package.
Oh, 100%. I was the first, so it was me and my girl, my boy and his girl, and we were literally the first 4 to get a drink on the boat because we dropped our bags off at the room and everyone was, we had the early boarding time. And so mind you, it was like 10 in the morning and we were like, well, fuck it, let's go get a drink. I was like halfway buzzed. I was halfway buzzed before we even left.
Absolutely. That was the first thing we boarded, I think like at 4 or maybe 5, something like that. And that's the first thing we did. We got our bags. We were like, all right, let's go to a room and let's get a fucking drink. And then we went to the buffet. But the drink pass when we bought it was like $289, I think. I think it was 280 something.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that first night I drank about $167 of alcohol. So
oh yeah,
totally worth it.
Yeah, for anyone listening, as you can tell, a cruise is definitely the freaking way to go. There's so much fun. And the good thing about a cruise, I don't know how it was for you, is obviously, like, unless, you live in Florida, so a good, port area. But, like, me, we flew to Florida to get out of there. But besides, airfare and maybe a hotel on the front end and back end, like, I guess what I'm getting is once you get on the boat, at that point, it's just spending money.
Yeah.
Like, because you buy the drink package before, the food's obviously there and stuff. So that's the big thing. Like with a cruise is if you can put down that money in the beginning, like once you're there, you really don't have to spend a lot.
Yeah, and just pro tip, even if you're not a drinker, like you're like a social drinker, or you don't even if you don't like alcohol, think about getting the drink package anyway, because everything's included: coffee, water, soda, juice,
Coke,
water, whatever. And you can go to any bar that's set up anything and be like, can I have 4 waters? You swipe your card and they go, here you go. I cannot tell you how many people I saw livid at these bars with getting their bar tab because they were, getting a drink and paying. And I was like, they were getting fleeced. So I was like, dude, ain't no way. So just a recommendation. If you're going to go on a cruise, get the drink package. Even if you're not a big drinker, trust me. When it's 2:30 in the morning and you can go to the Starbucks on the ship and get you a nice big fucking latte and you ain't got to shell out no money. All you got to do is swipe your card because the shit's already paid for. Shit's the bomb.
Yep. And then one last thing I just wanted to plug before we get going, just because I don't know about you. I know you are a fan, but I'm getting like extremely excited for football to start. Like extremely excited. And so one thing, like I guess my girls never got to experience up. For those who don't know, I'm a very, very big Patriots fan. I only live not live now. I'm in California, but 30 minutes from the stadium back home. And we've gone to games together, and she sees how into it I get every Sunday. But every game she's ever been to was an away game. But when I get back to California, we're going to take time off to go back home. And we're going to a Sunday night game, actually, week 2, Dolphins.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm excited for her to see. She's seen the stadium because we went last time I was home. But see the stadium, like, for a game, the tailgate part and all that. So with, like, a bunch of my boys and shit. So pretty amped for that.
Yeah, man.
Just because I love football,
dope.
so I'm excited for that.
I want to say this again. I hate to. My girl, she is a Bills fan, and she's also a solo traveler. So she just bought her tickets for the Bills game in London. So she's going to London, and she's going to go to London and see the Bills, which I think is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, dude.
I've never, obviously, I don't know anyone who's ever been either, but Pat McAfee, because they talked about it on his show, and he got to go when he was a player and said it was just like a super cool experience. And same thing, kind of like wrestling, like the fans are just great and things like that, because they don't get it every day like we do. That's where we have that sense of entitlement. Yeah, and then I don't know if, I guess I'm plugging his show here, but we got a discount on our tickets because I think it's either 10 or 15% off. But if you go to SeatGeek, which I'm actually a big fan of their app.
I gotta check that out.
I don't know if you've ever bought tickets. Yeah, I'm a big fan of SeatGeek. But if you just go to any of his episodes, like from the day, like in the bio, it has the code, and we got 15% off for our tickets.
Nice.
You just need a new account. So I already had an account. She didn't have one, so she just downloaded the app, got it, and because we got 4 tickets, one of my buddies and his wife were coming, and yeah, so we saved the thing.
One thing though about
for you or anyone else in general.
One thing about football is just like I've been to a few games. Like I used to be a Jets fan, so I used to see the Jets twice a year because they come to Miami, obviously 2 times a year.
Yeah.
I really just like watching the games at home, like especially like going to my boy's house and just hanging out over there. We have a couple drinks and the grill gets fired up and we just watch the fucking game. He's got an 80-inch fucking TV. I had a 55-inch, but I downgraded for better resolution. But my TV's awesome. And just watching it, I don't know, bro. I just drive into the fucking arena and the parking. It's because the traffic here is horrendous, bro. Like we went to the Knicks Heat game and it was a nightmare to get out of there.
That's why everyone's always late.
It was a nightmare to get out of there, bro. Like it was horrific. And it's just like I would just rather watch it at the house, bro. I really would, or at a friend's.
Yeah, no, I definitely. Well, no, because I'll say this. So my favorite sport to watch live, like in person, is basketball. I love football, but something about basketball games are dope. But yeah, with football, like so me, like coming from a bigger Italian family, like growing up, we would have like Sunday dinner, but it was realistically at like 1:30. But like the whole family would be together, and we'd have like our pasta, meatballs, whole thing, and then like watch the Pats as a family. Yeah. And even like now, like in Cali, even well with the time difference, they come on at 10. But just having like a breakfast burrito and like coffee and just watching your team like from the couch, yeah, it's definitely relaxing.
I still can't. I don't understand how football's so early, bro. For me, football is 1:00 and 3:30. Like that's, and then obviously the night games. But like 10:00 in the morning,
tell you,
that's nuts.
That's the number one thing. Whenever I leave California, that'll be the number one thing I miss the most. Sports in general, because like little things like so the Pats come on at 10 usually because they're Northeast team, and it works out perfect because I bought like the league pass, but like I said, yeah, just 10, and the game's over by like 1:00 the latest. Yeah. So it's good if you're like because there are days where we'll want to go do shit, and it's like I watch the game, but then I still have all day. The only time where it's honestly a pro and a con, and it's kind of like what I was texting you the other day, with like a big show in London, is the time. So like the Super Bowl in California comes on at 3:30. So I'm home and everything by like 7:30 the latest. And it's just weird because I'm driving home and like the sun's still up. I don't know, when you think like WrestleMania, the Super Bowl, I guess mostly those two because they're usually outdoor. But you think like
if I complain to you every fucking time I get out on one of these AEW shows and it's goddamn 12:30 in the morning.
Yeah, like see for me it's like 9:30.
That'd be great.
Chilling. Still get my whole 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic, bro. If I had that, I wouldn't have that problem with work. Like I had to ask for Monday off because I knew I was going to the theater for Forbidden Door. I knew there was no way I want to watch the scrum. I want to watch the post wrap up show that I listened to. Like I wanted to do all that. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to go to work. But if I get out at 9, that'd be great. That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's just, because it's just it's awesome. But I think we can get into it. So for everyone today, just before I'll plug what we're talking today. Obviously, over the weekend we had the Money in the Bank show, so we're going to speak that. But then, as we've been saying, it's our mid-year award show. So everyone, get your confetti out, get your suits, get your ties on. We're going to be giving out awards. Oh, yeah. The trash awards or whatever.
The Trashies.
I don't know if we have a name for them. But yeah, the Trashies. Yeah, the Trashies are today. So be prepared for that. So stay tuned for that. But we just got one piece of news. I'm gonna let Lou plug this.
Yeah, we didn't really delve too much into news today because it's news is all starting to blur their lines between, kayfabe and reality and people's opinions instead of news. So there was one thing we didn't do it last week because I forgot about it, but I wanted to nominate someone for Trash Tweet of the Week. And it's not so much a trash tweet, because usually I'd like to take just a completely ignorant thing, as our inaugural Val Venus tweet was just completely trash. And it was well worth the moniker. But this is just more of like an asinine old man yelling at cloud moment. And we have our good friend, ECW legends, former ECW tag team champion, former ECW champion, PJ Palaco, aka Just Incredible, who on Wednesday night decided to tweet out. Well, he retweeted someone who we've referenced on this show before, which is the account Vince McMahon's Thoughts. So obviously that account is a little bit biased towards WWE. And this person tweeted out, he tweeted out a clip of the Moxley and the Ishii match. And he said, "This is the funniest shit I've ever seen, pal." And it was the part of the match where Moxley and Ishii clotheslined each other and collapsed into each other. And Just Incredible retweeted that. And what he wrote in it was, "I am not saying I'm better than these guys, but this has never happened to me in my 30 plus years, not even once. WTF. And when I see stuff like this, it just it irritates me, because I have some people who I know who are WWE like heavy. They don't care about EC. They don't care about AEW. They don't care about Impact. They don't care about anything else except WWE, because that's all they care about. And again, I've said it a million times on this show. That's fine. But when I get annoyed is when they see something online, or they see something from one of their shows that they watch that's completely WWE biased, and then they want to send it to me like, what's going on here in the AEW? Look at this dumb shit. And it's like, did you watch it yourself? Do you even know what it is you're sending? Do you even know the people in the match that you're watching? Like, do you even know them? So like, why are you sending this shit to me? It's almost like I gotcha. And that shit gets on my nerves. And that's the vibe that I got from this. Like, I don't even think he watched that match.
Yeah.
Because he just saw that clip and ran with that clip and retweeted it. And the tweet itself is innocuous. It's like not the, it's not the worst tweet I've seen, but the comments, because he's responding to a bunch of people. And it's just, he's just reinforcing the fact that he did not watch this fucking match, because there ain't no way. That spot was perfectly explained when you watched the match. The guys were exhausted. They collapsed into each other. You could see from the crowd reaction, the crowd was going nuts. So, and that match was awesome. So I don't know what this guy's problem is. I didn't even really know he was tweeting like that, because I've never seen his Twitter before. But PJ Pelago, you are now inducted into the Trash Hall of Fame with this trash tweet of the week. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, it was something. And it's just like, so I guess not to go on the soapbox here, but because we've talked about this before in the group chat numerous of times, or just you and I, and it's like, sometimes, like, I think we all, because it's just life, we all have an opinion and we all have the right to criticize. Well, the match was good, but I wish this would have happened, or this. And that's more fantasy booking than criticizing, I would say. But some people just take every like, dog, this is a match on AEW Dynamite. It's not like this was at, like, Double or Nothing. Like, are we really going to get that political? Or not political, but you know what I mean? Debate over, like, just a TV match. You know what I mean? Like, people are just like brother. It's not that big of a deal. I don't know.
Yeah, again, it wasn't the worst thing I've seen. He wasn't going crazy or anything like that. But I just saw that and I was like, bro, because I was watching that match. The only reason I saw this shit was because I was watching that match and I wanted to see people's reaction online, because it was the first match of the show. It was like, it opened the show. Yeah. So I was just like, I didn't pay much attention to it in the beginning, and then they were just going in. And then I was like into the match, and I wanted to get on Twitter to see what people were saying, and I saw that. And I was like, fucking really, dude? Like, come on, man. It's so stupid, bro. People just, I don't know, whatever. Again, if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. It's not going to hurt you to not watch it. Just watch the shit you like.
Yeah.
That's it. It's that simple.
And that's the thing. Just keep the comments, like, to yourself, especially if you're, like, a biased watcher. You know what I mean? Because, like, Lou and I will text each other all the time and, like, be like, what the fuck was this that happened on Raw? But then we're like, what the fuck was this that happened on Dynamite?
Yeah.
But we're not over here clamorating online with our Twitter and Instagram pages for either our personal or the show, and being like,
yeah, like, I post stuff all the time, but I try to make sure that it's, if I have a criticism, it's, if I have praise, if I have criticism, it's in, like, humor. I'm not really bitching or calling out spots, because obviously I can't do any of that shit. So I'm not gonna be like, oh, he fucked. Like, perfect example. We'll talk about it in a minute here. The fucking Logan Paul Ricochet. I could have clipped that and put it online and be like, oh, you see, you guys always bitching about AEW botches. Look at this botch. And I know I've probably seen that on there. I just kept scrolling because I didn't want to, like, I don't want to click like on it or heart that shit, because then my people see it. I don't even want to spread it anymore.
Yeah.
So, but I could have done that. I didn't, because why? Shit happens, bro. Wrestling is, these guys are doing shit, bro. They did a spot where they fell from a fucking ladder onto the top rope.
That bounces.
They were trying to land on the top rope and Spanish fly off the top rope, landing off a ladder. That's what they were attempting to do.
Which would have been sick if it would have hit. Like they got it like halfway, and it still looked good, like decent.
Yeah.
Like it looked decent, you know.
Ricochet literally grabbed Logan Paul, was like, "Nah, fuck that, we're doing this." If you watch it, he was like, "Nope, we're fucking doing this spot," and he forced him into the Spanish flying there. That shit was crazy.
Well, crazy. I guess we might as well dive into it now because I haven't thought on it. So now we're going to transition to the part where we go through the show. So the opening show, men's Money in the Bank match, highly sought after match because of a certain individual in the match. But the winner coming out victorious was Damian Priest of the Judgment Day, defeating Logan Paul, Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura, Butch, Santos Escobar, and the heavily favorited LA Knight. Now, before we dive into the LA Knight aspect of things and the Damian Priest winning, kind of to stick on the Logan Paul thing, dog, what I liked about this match with Logan Paul is he had some good spots, as always, but kind of got the shit kicked out of him in this match. Like, trying to, I guess, like, respect for him from this match because, like, he took a lot of spots. Like, you know, he easily could have been like, hey, I'm the celebrity here. There's 6 other dudes. I can just kind of do my big splash somewhere in the call. But because he posted photos online after, I think, on his Instagram. And his back was pretty fucking banged up. And, I thought Ricochet looked phenomenal, though, in this match. I thought Ricochet had a great showing, as I feel he usually does. Yeah. But I guess even like Butch, like, no one really looked bad in this match, in my opinion. Right. But man, LA Knight did not get that victory. And
thumbs down for me on that one.
Yeah, and it's just, I'm trying to think how to word this because I love Damian Priest. We preach Damian Priest. We're big fans of Damian Priest. So we're happy for Damian Priest. And he's put in a lot of work in the past year, just in general. Like, just from when he's been on the main roster, was a U.S. champion, then did the stuff with Bad Bunny twice, times 2. And then in the shitty part of the Judgment Day, now they're over. So I get, like, saying all that, it makes sense as to why he won. And now there's tension. There's been tension the past, like, month or so between him and Balor, which we'll speak on later in that match. So, like, that's a thing. And LA Knight, though, is just so hot. And, like, Priest didn't need the briefcase to get where he would be going with this. But, and I guess Triple H said in the press conference after, like, good things come to those who wait. Be patient, blah, blah, blah. I don't think this is, like, it for LA Knight. Like, I don't see him not being on TV or anything. But, I don't know, man. You had lightning in a bottle. And I'm really, because, I don't know. I was just really, because there was at one point in the match where I guess they did it where he was up there. And I was like, yep, this is fucking it.
Yeah.
And then
I thought that was it.
And then when Priest hit him with the Falcon Arrow, he hit him with the Falcon Arrow off it. I was like, nah, he ain't getting up from that. Like, I could see if he just shoved him down or something. But when he hit that, I was like, nah, like, Priest gonna win this thing right when he hit it. I was like, damn.
Because LA Knight was right, like, it was right there. I was just like, oh shit. I saw him sliding the thing off, and Priest came out of nowhere, bro.
Yeah, and I think, but I don't know. I guess your thoughts on, like, LA Knight, like, not getting like, what do you really see happening from this? What do you really see the fallout being for LA Knight? Like, what's next for him?
Yeah, so as far as LA Knight goes, he's gonna be fine. Like, it would have been obviously I wanted him to win. That was my pick to win this match, was LA Knight. I thought we both picked LA Knight. Shit. And he's gonna be fine. Like, I don't think at this point they cannot hear those pops and kind of let it fall to the wayside. I don't think that they're gonna do that. I don't think they can do that. They're gonna figure something out for him. I just don't think that they've got it exactly figured out. The problem is that he's stuck on SmackDown. So he's a SmackDown guy, and you're not gonna have him go feud with Roman because Roman's busy right now. They got a whole bloodline shit going on.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any time to beat this. There's no way to sneak LA Knight into that without fucking up the whole vibe of that. So, what I think they should do with him is have him take that fucking US title off of Austin Theory.
That's
because
what I think
Austin
too.
Theory ain't doing a goddamn thing with that belt. He's not doing shit. He's doing nothing. So why not have them feud? Can you imagine, bro? LA Knight's over as shit, and everybody hates Austin Theory. That's like the perfect combination of heel that everybody wants to boo and guy that everybody wants to cheer. So have him win the US title. Have him go on a little run with that shit and, change it up. Because what are you really doing with Austin Theory anyway? Nothing.
Because he defended the title the other night against Ridge, and it seems like, and that's what I'm hoping they divert to, because it seems like right now they're building towards Sheamus and Theory, which could be a good match and all that. And if that's what's at SummerSlam, it's what it is. But if that is the case at SummerSlam, it's got to be LA Knight right after.
Yeah,
because LA Knight he made that natural transition from heel to babyface. Like LA Knight's a babyface now. Maybe on their paper he's still a heel, but my man's a babyface. Even the things he's saying in his promos and all that, because people were saying him and Logan Paul, but I'm like 50-50 with it. Because one, I'd rather see Logan Paul and Ricochet. And based off the match, the natural feud seems to be more of a Ricochet-Logan Paul anyway, if Logan Paul is even going to have a match at SummerSlam. But LA Knight would be good too because of the publicity that he would get from it.
I mean, they could have a blow-off match at SummerSlam between Logan Paul and LA Knight, just because he's not going to stick around. He's not going to be every week on SmackDown. He's going to show up when he shows up.
So if they did that at SummerSlam, I'd be fine with that. But you got to capitalize here. And this is where, when it comes to the Vince Triple H thing, is where you'll see who's really controlling what here. Because Triple H, he's always capitalized off of shit like this. All right, this dude's hot. Whether I like it or not, you got to do something with it. You saw that in NXT days, you know what I mean? Where Vince is they got forced. The two times where the fans really took over and got forced, where Vince was fuck, I have to do this, was when Bryan Danielson was going for the title and when Kofi was going for the title.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But people are already saying LA Knight should win the Rumble, blah blah blah, and I don't go that far. I think that Rumble's for anyone. It's for Gunther, in my opinion.
Yeah, he should definitely win 100%.
Yeah, that's who it should be. But overall, I thought it was a good match. I liked it. Good spots.
One thing I wanted to say about this match was, again, I bitched when Logan Paul was announced and everyone's having qualifying matches and this guy just shows up and he's like, oh, I'm in Money in the Bank, hey, because I'm Logan Paul. But let me tell you something. That dude, his selling, he sells better than some wrestlers that have been wrestling for 15 years.
It's natural.
when Damian Priest hit him with that fucking elbow when he jumped off over the top rope, and Damian Priest was sitting there on the ground and he hit him in the face with that fucking elbow, bro. I thought he broke his nose. I thought Damian Priest legit broke his nose because the way he went down, I was like, oh shit, that's a botch. That didn't look good. That was not good. And then when they showed the replay, I was like, no, Damian hit him right here. Perfectly safe. He hit him with a perfectly safe elbow. He did the slap, and Logan was just selling. He tricked me. He fucking tricked me with his selling. He was very fucking awesome with that shit.
Yeah, I'm going to say this with Logan Paul now, and some true diehards might not like my opinion, but I'm with it now. Every match he's been in, he's delivered.
Yeah.
So not saying I'm going to be amped for a Logan Paul match. I'm not going to lie. If him and Ricochet fight, I'll be a little amped for that. Just to think of the crazy shit they'll do. But besides that, the dudes kind of gave you no reason to not be oh, okay, Logan Paul's on this card. Cool. That's how I feel about it, at least.
Yeah, I think he's done a tremendous job of making me not like him, which is his job. He's a heel. So he's supposed to be not liked. So when he gets announced for shit, I'm like, ugh, this fucking guy. I don't want to see this guy. But he has tremendous matches. And he has tremendous spots. And for example, Shinsuke. I love Shinsuke. But my God, some of those kicks that he does, they look so fake. Like some of his kicks look so fucking fake. He does a lot of like the flying knee that he did at one point in that match. It looked very bad. A lot of those high kicks, roundhouses that he does, you can tell that they look super fake. Like you can see that he's trying not to, kill somebody with an actual roundhouse kick. So it just looks, when it hits soft.
Yeah.
Logan Paul, everything that he does looks good. It's crisp. His frog splash is good. He's got a punch. Like he throws good punches. When he hits the mat right. You know what I mean? He sells very well. Like, dude, he's good. He's very, very fucking good for being a celebrity. Like, I gotta give him all the props in the world. He's very, very good.
Now, one question about him before we move on to our next match. So Logan Paul's wrestled probably around like 8 matches now. So what's your favorite spot though of his? Because that's his thing, which I like though.
Yeah, the ricochet collision. That was fucking crazy.
That one, it's that, but then I still like that frog splash with Roman with recording on the phone.
Oh yeah,
and like
that was good.
That's a big one, yeah. So we'll see where they go next. I'm assuming, regardless, Logan Paul's next thing is probably either Ricochet or LA Knight, though. I guess maybe we'll see something tonight.
Right.
But moving on, not much to talk about in the match, but it's more what happened at the end of the match and the title. But we have new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Liv Morgan and Raquel Gonzalez, get their titles back from Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, but at the cost of Shayna Baszler attacking her so-called best friend Ronda Rousey from literally out of nowhere and from behind and at the end of the match. My initial thoughts are kind of like why, because as Lou and I were kind of saying in the pre-show that usually you see when a turn's coming, and it's not necessarily a bad thing when you see something coming like that, but we didn't see this like at all. Like, this would have been the match, like, oh, there's nothing I need to see in this match, is what I would have thought. I guess technically you needed to see something in the end, but, yeah, what was your initial reaction?
You want to know why? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, pal, because it's such good shit. That's why. My thing with this match is this. Why? So, Shayna turns on Ronda, like, after, I don't know, 8 minutes of a fucking wrestling match.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do that, why not just go out there, have your introductions, have Raquel and Liv come out, do your introductions, they ring the bell, Shayna attacks Ronda from behind. She attacks her from behind right at the beginning of the match, stomps her out, puts her in the Karafuda clutch while Liv stands there and Raquel stands there like, what the fuck's going on? And then do the same finish. Raquel gets in there, Tahana bombs her, picks her up, throws her into the fucking oblivion. Boom, new champions. Like, why? I just don't understand the psychology of having a match, going back and forth with someone, getting your ass kicked, tagging your partner, having your partner come in, then she tags you back in, and you guys are having a match, and then out of nowhere, you have the upper hand because Raquel's beat up on the side of the ring. And Liv is there like, oh, fuck, I'm in here with Ronda now. And Ronda's literally stalking her, about to, like, finish her off. And then you attack her from behind. Like, I don't understand the reasoning behind that. But I'm sure there's a reason why. Maybe we'll find out tonight. Shayna will say whatever. But
yeah, because
why didn't they they should have just done it at the beginning and not had that match.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know. It's always something to, like, kind of like why, but because I think a perfect example of doing it right away that worked out perfect was, if you remember, when Dakota Kai was in the War Games, and when she called to come out, she just turned around fucking Tegan Knox.
Yeah.
If you remember that.
Great
so, like,
NXT
that was
moment. That's a classic NXT moment right there.
Yeah.
I love Dakota Kai. I just fucking
Did you see
love
that group
Dakota
text
Kai so
with
much.
her, the damage control group text?
No.
Or no? So Bailey, so it's the three of them. It's an actual text because Dakota Kai put it up. Because reason I say that is because Bailey's name in Dakota's phone is Pam. And it's funny because Io Shirai is literally Io Shirai.
Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah.
Bailey sent a screenshot, sent a photo of like her and Io from SmackDown and said, "We missed you, Charlie." And then she's like, Dakota responded to them saying like, "Miss you guys too. Like, I'm cheering for both of you." Blah blah blah. And then Io Shirai's like, "We miss you, Charlie." And then but yeah. So I don't know, man. I really don't have much more to say. All I'm gonna say is, in my opinion, these women's tag titles are like dead and gone. Like at this point, like there's only, and the people who are the champs now, mind you, everyone knows I'm a massive Liv fan, but there's only two people I really want to see with these titles, and it's Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville.
Right.
So it's like, but regardless, like Liv and Raquel, because they said it in their press conference after, was they named all these teams on all three different shows. Like, they need to have one team set to the side who's like a no-shit team that's going to take the titles from them. But we need more than like a 60-day title reign. Not saying they need to go on a reign for a year, but fuck. 3 months of continuously defending those titles. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And I thought that's what Ronda and Shayna were going to do. But as we're seeing, Ronda kind of has a hard out with WWE. I think she's just kind of over it.
And again, and we talked about that before the show. That was the news that came out afterwards, because everybody was like, "What the fuck? What was that?" Because it was very out of nowhere. And then it turns out Ronda has a hard out clause in her contract, and I guess she wants to not wrestle anymore. So she wants out, and I guess she's gonna finish up with Shayna, and after that she'll be gone for a while, forever. I don't know, but I don't like that shit either. Because it kind of seems like
she's quitting.
Isn't she the one who pushed for these fucking titles? Like they worked this whole thing around for her so that they could get this tag team title run. And now I guess I don't know. I mean, I don't know if maybe they didn't have like a real plan for them going forward, and maybe she didn't like where it was going or whatever. And she's like, you know what, fuck it. I'm done. So let's just let's just finish this thing. So
what I'm hoping comes from this is Shayna defeats Ronda, puts her over on her way out, right? They have just a good fight. Ronda either passes out or taps out. And then I want to see, even though I know she's not going to win, but Shayna and Rhea. Run that back. Because now you have Shayna's got a definitive win under her belt. Rhea needs challengers. She's defending against Natalya again tonight. Like, no disrespect to Natalya.
Bro, get out of here.
But Rhea, like, I'll say this. Since Rhea's gotten the no-shit world women's title, she hasn't really done much with it.
Yeah.
They're playing too much on this Dom stuff, which I get it. They might be trying to save Rhea because they're trying to go with her in the long call. But, dog, like, you got to have Matt because she's going to hold the title till Mania, Rhea. 100% going to hold that title till Mania. Whether she wins or loses there. Like, my man, you got a lot of shows between now and then. You know, like, she's got to start defending it. So, like, at SummerSlam, she needs to be she has to defend it. There's no reason at SummerSlam she needs to be friggin' just in Dom's corner. Like, she's the star, too. That's the thing. And has good matches. So, maybe there's a nagging injury or something we're not, because her last
I don't even think so. I don't even think so.
Because her last defense was the end of May.
Wasn't it Backlash?
Natalya.
Oh, it was Natalya.
Yeah, no chance. So she realistically went the whole month of June without defending it, which is fine, like whatever, because there really wasn't a pay-per-view in the month of June. But, okay, now she's like, something's going to happen after this match with Natalya. It can't just be as simple as they fight again. Because now what? Now you're going to have a competitive match, too? When you squashed her? So whatever route they go, whatever. But someone's got to come out there and like challenge after this.
Yeah, and she already fucking destroyed her at what was that shit?
Like this can't.
What was that match that she
bad? In my opinion, bad booking here would be they have a match. Even if they have a legit match, that's fine. Even though she's already squashed her, whatever. But if Rhea wins and then it just goes to commercial. Like, you need to see the next challenger tonight.
That was in Cardiff, right? That was in Cardiff?
No,
she just
Saudi.
Fucking threw her into the stairs and fucking destroyed her?
In Saudi.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I just... Again, we seem to do the same thing every episode where I have to put this out into the air with people, and I don't understand why. Tony Khan's not in WWE, but maybe Triple H needs to start fucking watching Wrestling is Trash, because, bro, you have, and I know you just put the fucking titles on them, so there goes the Raquel idea that I had, but you got all these women on the roster, bro. Why is Rhea not in any kind of real feud, bro? It doesn't make any sense. Maybe now with Shayna, they can do something with her, but then you're going to have heel versus heel. So you need a fucking, like, Raquel is the perfect baby face to go against Rhea.
Yeah.
And again, Lacey Evans is doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. And
there's a lot of them.
A badass. Why not have her? She doesn't have to beat Rhea. I'm not saying she has to beat her.
Yeah.
But why not have her go in there and have competitive matches with fucking Rhea Ripley? What's going to be the harm in that?
You have other people, too, who, like, come and go, like Xia Li. Like, fuck it. Even though
where is she?
Lose, like, throw Xia Li in there. She looks good. You know, she's not bad in the ring, but whatever.
Tegan Knox. Tegan Knox, you brought her up. Where the fuck is she?
Yeah, like, Shotzi. Here's my thing. When it comes to the women, like, especially if they're going for Rhea, like, say, I think Shotzi might be SmackDown exclusive, but if Shotzi showed up on my TV tonight to fight Rhea, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, she's on SmackDown, because I really don't give a fuck more.
Yeah, I don't care anymore about that.
Yeah, the only time it really ever griped me was when you're going, like, when Roman, even though I liked who it was, but, like, when Roman was champ and Seth came over to challenge him. And it's like, dude, you got all these guys on your own show that can fight him. Why does it have to be Seth? Like, that's time. But anyway, next after that, we had an Intercontinental title match. Gunther retained against Matt Riddle. Hard-hitting match. I think we all knew the outcome coming into it. I wouldn't say... it was a good match. I honestly had a lot more expected for this because Riddle's a hard-hitting guy, too, so I thought this was going to be better. Maybe I had too many expectations for it, but not bad overall. Like, I would never say it was a bad match. But most importantly, after, we get the return of Drew McIntyre. Now, as we said on this show last week, to throw it out there, we thought Drew was going to return to be Seth's next challenger, get him right there in the world title picture, whatever it be. But him and Gunther, I'm for it. It's just the thing I don't like about it going into it is I don't think it'll just be a one-off, but I think Drew could be the one to beat him. But everyone keeps forgetting that they have plans for Gunther to beat Honky Tonk's record. And I think I saw the date recently. It's like September 3rd. So that would mean
2 pay-per-views.
That
means two pay-per-views before that streak is broken. So are you telling me you're going to beat Drew twice? Because that's not going to work.
Because I think you got Payback on like the 8th of September, and then SummerSlam's like the 5th.
Yeah. There's 2 pay-per-views before that Honky Tonk record's broken.
So I'm curious where they go with it. I think the two of them will have a good match for sure.
Yeah, of course.
And then Triple H squashed the rumors. I don't know if you saw that from the press conference on Drew when he was asked about it.
No.
About Drew was pretty much off for medical reasons. They had some things to take care of. Then Drew essentially was like, hey, I'm out with my foot hurts. Can I fix my finger? And Triple H was like, yeah. And I guess Drew and Triple H laughed on the phone about the reports. Is what he was saying, which I agree, because the same thing happens in AEW. There's all these reports all the time and none of it's true. But I bet you this, I don't take this as a sign, though, that Drew re-signed. I think
Well,
it's just
I'm seeing online from these different people that Drew's not resigned, and
yeah.
he's
So
still up in the air about what he's doing. He's just like on a per show basis. How he's getting
yeah,
away with that, I have no idea. But
yeah,
um,
because his contract's set to go up early 2024 is what everyone's saying, and I'm reading is so. Guess we'll see. And if I believe like kind of what the reporters say, but what Triple H says as well. Like I believe Drew was probably like, dude, like let's get this going. I want this. Can you meet me here? And Drew's probably like, yo, I'm hurt, so I don't want to be on TV wrestling to wrestle. So I'm gonna take care of X, Y, and Z. Bring me back when there's something good. And Triple H was like, well, what about a feud with Gunther? And he was probably like, okay, because I think Drew is a good person to
yeah, he
beat
seems like a
Gunther
nice
for that
dude.
title. Yeah, Drew, you know what I mean? Like, I'm cool with Drew being an Intercontinental Champion. I don't think that's a downgrade or anything like that. I think that's a good spot for him. I think he's, like said, especially you're defeating Gunther, who apparently, you know, this is all speculated because I bet you they haven't even had a conversation, but he's a heavily favored guy to win the Rumble and maybe challenge Seth or whoever at Mania. So, like, why not have a guy who's won a Rumble and beaten Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, who they've done a decent job keeping credible, defeat him? That's how I look at it. But yeah, I don't know. Matt Riddle looked a little off in this match too.
Yeah, it was funny because Michael Cole brought up their evolve matches that they had, and you can watch those on YouTube, bro.
I've seen they're nuts.
Yeah, I sent you that we watched earlier
Walter
this
and
week.
Will Ospreay.
We watched Will Ospreay and Walter, not Gunter, big old fat Walter have a match. That match was fucking bananas. But you can watch obviously Matt Riddle, and Matt Riddle's had some amazing matches. So it kind of hurts to see him. I mean, I'm happy for him that he's on the big show and it's, you know, it's WWE or in the mainstream and all that, and he's making a shitload of money. But man, I really miss that old Matt Riddle who was like, he was like that surfer dude, whatever, but he was just a fucking ass kicking machine, man. He really, he's like nerfed, and I hate that shit. Like he's nerfed here, and this match could have been a lot more. I don't know if maybe they didn't have enough time, or maybe Riddle's a little hurt or something. I don't know what happened there, but it was a good match.
Yeah, something's there, man. Because Riddle has not been the same since he's returned from like this go around. So
fucking around with them porn stars and wearing gold grills, bro. You gotta slow down, kid.
Yeah,
slow the
he
fuck down.
Really does. And following that, we had Cody Rhodes defeat Dominic Mysterio. Crowd was very big into Cody. They legit sang his theme song instead of just the whoa, which was dope to see. Dominic obviously getting the tremendous heat there. We kind of predicted this where it was going to go. Cody was going to get the win. No Brock Lesnar here, which I kind of like. You know, Cody just was in a feud, wins the feud. Now probably picks up with Brock tonight or something like that. Cody's still obviously mega over. Dominic's not mega over, which is what they wanted.
Yeah. I mean, I really have nothing to say about this match. I
liked the closing sequence of the match because Cody kind of just made like Dominic his bitch.
Yeah. And like as well, he should have. That's one thing I will say about the match. They didn't do the thing where, because I just saw a match like this. What match did I just watch where it was like way too competitive? Oh, bro, not to change subjects, and I'll get back on topic real quick. But Powerhouse Hobbs versus Dustin Rhodes in the Owen Hart Cup tournament. They just had it on Collision.
From Collision?
Bro, those motherfuckers were back and forth, and it's like, bro, Hobbs should have fucking destroyed Dustin Rhodes. Yes. All respect to Dustin Rhodes. All respect to dudes. But, bro, you are in your mid-50s.
Going against
and you're in there against this young stallion monster. Like, maybe he could have got a couple minutes of offense, but ain't no way that match should have went as long as it did, and ain't no way Hobbs should have been huffing and puffing at the end of that match like, ooh, I survived. No, he should have fucking destroyed him. So, again, I like that in this match, Cody didn't even look like he broke a sweat.
No.
Like Cody didn't even look like he broke a sweat. He hit him with the crossroads, 1, 2, 3. See you later. Like that's what it should have been.
Yeah, because you could tell like Cody's like, all right, this dude's annoying because he hit him with something.
Like you're not on my level at all.
Yeah, he hit him with one move. I forget what it was. Then the Cody cutter picked him up, sent him up for the crossroads. 1, 2, 3. I was like,
I honestly thought that the Cody cutter was gonna be it, like because he tried to do it before, he couldn't do it, and then he hit it again. And I was like, oh, I think he's gonna end this shit with the Cody cutter, which I would have been fine with. But then he picked him up, hit the crossroads. I was okay. Now you protect Dominic a little bit, you protect him a little bit with that because you hit him with the actual finisher, and Cody just looks like, dude, you're not on my level. That's how it should have gone.
Yeah.
You know what I wouldn't mind? I wouldn't mind if Brock came out today and Cody attacks Brock and leaves him under the fucking announce table or whatever the fuck, just beats the shit out of him. That's what should happen tonight.
The one thing I'll say with tonight's Raw is they did a lot of planting to make Raw like, I'll say because that's what they say, but must see tonight.
Right.
Same with SmackDown. Like they did good, leaving you hanging to see what happens.
They're still in Canada?
No, they're in Baltimore. They're back in the States.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then next, I'm honestly one person who saw this coming.
Did you see how I wrote that?
Yeah.
Because I was watching the reason I wrote it like that is because I was watching a Santino Marella montage. Because he's in Impact now, like as the special enforcer or whatever. And for some reason it popped up in my YouTube. It was Santino Marella calling people the wrong name. So he tells them, "You have a big mouth, John Cena." So he's always used to call him John Cena.
Yeah. So about like 2 weeks ago, I saw a tweet and someone said John Cena's in London when Money in the Bank's there. Will he make an appearance? So, and it didn't have a lot of likes, retweets, or anything. And I was like, huh. And no one talked about it. So in the back of my mind, I'm like, yo, I wonder if Cena's going to show up at some point. Like, you know what I mean? Especially if he's there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, shit, even The Rock. When The Rock's in town when something happens, he'll try to make an appearance, you know? So whatever. John Cena comes out, hypes up London, says they're underappreciated, all the shit we kind of all say. And then Grayson Waller comes out. Grayson Waller saying, no, London doesn't need a WrestleMania. Australia does. I liked this one with Grayson Waller for multiple reasons. He hung with, as a lot of people call him, the greatest of all time, right? Especially on the mic. He's one of the greats. So they had a good there. He was physical, and he made it known. So hopefully we're going to start seeing some more. Maybe we'll see Grayson Waller and Edge. That's what I was thinking, because Grayson Waller, Edge is... So maybe, because there's no rumor reports of who's Edge going to fight at SummerSlam. So I'd like to see Grayson Waller and Edge.
Because I haven't been watching. So has Edge been on TV at all?
No. So this Friday, SmackDown's at Madison Square Garden. So, you know, they always make it a big deal.
That's going to be a must-watch show.
Yeah, so you have the tribal court bullshit, and then you have...
I'm gonna watch that. Yeah.
And then the Grayson Waller effect is with Edge. And now that we see...
Oh, shit. Okay. Wait, but where did that come from?
They just announced just last week.
And when's the last time Edge? Months, right? Edge hasn't been on TV in months.
I have not, to my knowledge, I don't think we've seen Edge since WrestleMania.
Oh, that's weird. Why would they announce Edge is coming back to be on the Grayson Waller effect? I mean, that's fine if they start a feud. That's cool. I don't mind.
You know why?
That's weird. That's weird.
One reason only. Bring tickets into the Garden and ratings. Like that. That's why.
I guess. Yeah.
But yeah. So that's the thing. Because I'll be honest, when they announced it last week and we've known Grayson's been hurt, I was kind of like, whatever, man. Like Grayson's just playing middleman for Edge's next feud, which he still might be, right? But now that we saw him get physical, it's like, ooh, maybe we'll get Grayson and Edge. And I'm down with that.
I'm all about seeing Edge, bro. Edge has never been one of my favorites, but this like comeback has been just fucking. I just love it, man. Because this dude was not supposed to be getting back in the ring at all.
No, and all his matches have been like good.
Yeah,
like, he hasn't had a. Not saying all these matches are amazing matches here, but they've all been good. He hasn't had a bad. So I'll admit one thing about Edge matches though. Sometimes they go a little too long. Edge likes being like the Iron Man. I will say that.
The greatest match ever that he had with Randy.
I remember him and Randy. Do you ever hear him and Randy talk about minutes. It? How him and Randy thought it was like the stupidest idea. And that, but yeah, so good little segment here. Something to break up the show. You know, gotta love seeing John Cena on TV. You know, you gotta take the appearances.
When you hear that fucking, we talked about it before. When you hear that beginning of that music, it's like, oh shit, you already know.
Yeah, especially cool for the UK fans. You know, they get comebacks, but like I thought we never would have saw John Cena at a UK show. Just stars line. But
so I'm gonna hit you with something. I'm gonna hit you with something real quick because I've been against this for like the past year, 2 years or whatever. We've been kind of doing this show. But bro, I think it's time. I think it's time for The Rock to show his face, bro. I really do. I really think it's time for The Rock to show up either at SummerSlam or maybe after the Roman J match. I don't know. But I think it's time, bro. This dude's getting pounded at the box office. His movies are not doing well. You know, his XFL is not doing well. And I think, bro, I'm kind of getting the I want to see that return. Like, I want to see the reaction to it. I want to hear the pop when they fucking hit his music. I want to see it. I've been against it. But now I'm like, you know what, man? Because where else can this tribal chief shit go? Like, how much farther, you know, they're gonna play this angle up? I mean, I keep saying that, but they keep just making it better and better. But adding The Rock in there, even if it's just to get him in there as like the you know, the High Council has sent him to, you know, straighten shit out or whatever. Like, even if they do something like that, and just for like a pay-per-view, you know, just to something. But I just want to see him just show up.
Dude, I was thinking exactly that. At the point, it's probably The Rock and his whatever, his schedule. He can't, whatever. If he can't, but exactly that. Like, see how they did? Because he can get somewhat physical, obviously.
Yeah.
But exactly, like, even if you did at, say, the Royal Rumble, right? The main event is going to be, because if, say, this thing's still going by then, right? Whatever pay-per-view it is, like the Rock hosts the special council, and he's just in there. That's going to draw motherfuckers regardless.
Can you imagine at Madison Square Garden if he fucking comes out this Friday? Like, I'm not saying I heard anything or anything of that nature or whatever, but can you fucking imagine if he comes out at Madison Square Garden?
I think at this point, just like the John Cena thing, if The Rock comes back, no one's going to know. In my opinion, I think the only people who would know are like Roman, Paul Heyman, because they obviously would be in the ring, Triple H, and Nick Khan. I'd say that's it.
Yeah, if I was Triple H and Nick Khan, I'd have The Rock on speed dial right now, because, like I said, he's taking a beating right now in Hollywood. The Black Adam thing didn't work out. They kicked him out of the DCU shit. They're rebooting the whole DCU with all the Supermans and Batmans and all that shit. Black Adam's not going to be involved. So that movie was a one and done. The XFL's not doing great. You know, he's in and he even had to get back into the Fast and Furious franchise when he was out because he was beefing with Vin Diesel or whatever. So it's like, if I was them, I'd be calling them, hey, bro, this will be great for you. You come back, you do maybe one
make them
match.
Relevant again.
You know, everybody's going to be fucking going crazy. You'll go viral. You'll be all over the place. It'll be good for you. Come on, man. You just show up, man. Do tribal chief shit. I think now is the time. I think now is the time. So let's see what happens on Friday. Maybe they make a hint at something. Maybe something happens. Honestly, I would like to see Alpha and Sika again. And if they're going to do something like that. Like if they come out, or Rikishi. Because Rikishi's been saying some shit too on Twitter. So, I mean, not recently, but before. So, I mean, we're talking about all this when we should be talking about it in the
I guess we'll
war thing, but that's just something I want to see, bro. I think it's time for The Rock.
Yeah. So next we have the women's Money in the Bank match. Io Sky defeated Trish Stratus, Zoe Stark, Bayley, Becky Lynch, and Zelina Vega. One really cool thing that stood out to me, Zelina Vega did the red, what's it called? the power bomb essentially off the ladder onto another ladder. And what I liked about it was, one, because I saw the other one live, but when Andrade was in Money in the Bank in 2019, he did the same spot to Finn Balor.
Yeah.
So that was cool bringing back. But, dude, the way Io Sky won this match, in my opinion, was absolutely dope. Like, I think it was the most creative Money in the Bank ladder match finishes. Because you got to think,
I did not watch this match. So I have no idea what happened in any of this match.
Did you see how it ended or no?
No.
All right. So this is it's a story within a story. So Zoe Starks and Trish Stratus obviously are beating up Becky. So at one point in the match, they get a handcuff on Becky Lynch. And they keep trying to hook her. I think they were trying to hook her to the rope or like the turnbuckle, the metal part of the turnbuckle, whatever. Kept trying it. Then it kind of just dropped, right? Becky's just, you kind of even forget Becky has this handcuff. Then Bayley pushes Io off the ladder when it was just Io on it, right? She gets knocked down. Then Bayley and Becky are going back and forth. And then Io, because Becky was trying to, Bayley was trying to hook Becky to the ladder so she couldn't climb it. Well, Io comes out of nowhere and hooks Bayley and Becky together so they can't move up the ladder at all. And the crowd just went nuts because then Io just slowly climbed her way up, sat on the ladder. Them two were like doing the whole thing because they can't move, and then she took off the briefcase.
Wow.
Yeah, so I would say it's not the most memorable match, but the finish for sure. Definitely go check out that.
I'm gonna go back and watch that though because I always enjoy watching the women's Money in the Bank ladder matches. Like I always like watching these like 4 or 5 way matches with the women because they always try like super hard to have a great match. So
they did. No, there was definitely a lot of good spots. Io did something off high. As we know, there was definitely a lot of good spots. Like all of them looked good. All 6 women had their spot in the match where they looked really good.
It's weird about this show. Neither women's title was fucking defended on this show. Very weird.
Yeah, because they did the Asuka thing on Friday. So now I guess we'll see. You know what's crazy? Did you see the stat? Io Sky is now has the second longest reign as women's Money in the Bank. Yes, think about it. So Carmella's obviously number 1. She had it for a while. So to bring you back, Carmella won in 2017. Alexa Bliss won in 2018. Cashed in instantly on Ronda Rousey. 2019, Bayley won. Instantly cashed in on Charlotte Flair. Which was cool because I got to see that. 2020, Asuka won, but then remember Becky announced she was pregnant the next day.
Oh, right.
So Asuka got the title. And then in 2021, Nikki Ash cashed in on Charlotte the next day. And last year, Liv Morgan,
high cross body. Oh my God, I'll never forget that.
And then last year, Liv Morgan cashed in on a hurt Ronda Rousey.
On Ronda. Oh shit. Okay. Cool. Wow.
So we'll see what Io does with that, but it was a good match.
ASH. Yeah. Nikki ASH with a high cross body to win that was terrible.
The title.
So bad.
So I would definitely go back watch that one.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch that.
But then next in our co-main event, we had Seth Rollins defeat Finn Balor. The story here was during the match, Damian Priest comes out with his contract, right? So it's like he just came out himself, brought the briefcase out there, and during the match, he's watching. Seth's obviously watching, which I kind of like the story of Seth with the title and the contract because of how Seth cashed in to win his title.
Right.
So I kind of hope they do something there. But at the end, what happened was Damian Priest was on the chair. Finn was kind of on like a little bit of momentum, but not really. And Finn was going for the coup de grace. And then Damian got up and Finn looked at him, caused it kind of a distraction. Seth ends up picking up the win. I liked it because a couple of weeks ago when Seth defeated Damian, the same thing happened. And there's been a lot of tension. So that's clearly where the story is going with this. So
yeah, Seth fucking curb stomped the shit out of him, bro.
Yeah.
That was an ill-ass curb stomp.
We got no return here because we were speculating Drew. People were speculating Randy Orton. Not saying it was necessarily going to be here, but he didn't return. So hopefully tonight we see a new challenger. I really don't want to see Finn again, to be honest, only because Finn and Seth faced off in the semifinals for the title. Now they went for the title. Like, this doesn't need to be a trilogy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm curious what they're gonna do with that, because you've got Finn Balor is back to being like very dark, more, you know, savage, kind of not demon, but just that savage heel, cutting edge type of heel character. And Damian has been that because he's the enforcer of the group. So now are you gonna like take Damian out of the group, or you're just gonna break up the whole group or whatever? It's like, I'm curious of what they're gonna do with that, because if you're gonna have, obviously Damian Priest is not gonna go after Roman Reigns. That's just storyline wise, it doesn't make sense. So he's gonna go after Seth Rollins' title. And I'm just curious how that's gonna work with, you know, the whole dynamic of the group. So it's interesting. We'll see where it goes. We've been asking for Seth Rollins to be involved in some kind of feud, so here it is, you know.
Yeah. Some people are speculating online if, like, maybe some were saying Seth and Dom. I just don't know how you get there, because Dom won, just lost. So is this going to be like a Seth versus Judgment Day thing? Which I wouldn't be mad about, I guess, seeing Seth and Dom, because if you remember, that was Dom's first ever match, and it was a good match. And it keeps that Dean. I don't know. I think it's going to be someone from the Judgment Day. Like, now that I say Dom, it kind of makes more sense, even though he lost. But Dom's that chicken shit heel that can lose all the time and challenge. So I kind of see it being Dom, because you can still have that tension. Because what if somehow Priest costs Dom the title at, like, SummerSlam, and then he ends up getting kicked out, or maybe that's where Priest cashes in at SummerSlam.
Yeah. I just don't see how Dominic gets a shot when he just lost clean to Cody. That's the only thing I wouldn't really be a. But then again, you know, who the fuck needs coherent storylines when it comes to WWE and title shots? Motherfuckers just
so
you just get title shots because.
I'm cool with Dom only because it's gonna keep the Damian and tension thing going with the Judgment Day. Because I don't think the Judgment Day is gonna end. I think if anything, Damian just leaves. So I'm kind of okay with seeing Dom, honestly. And once again, he's like your biggest heel. So it's like, against technically your biggest baby face in Seth as the champion. Well, even though it's Cody. So I don't know, dude. I guess we'll see. This is something maybe we'll see tonight or whatever on Raw, whenever Raw. Then in the main event, the Bloodline Civil War. The Usos defeated WWE Undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa when Roman Reigns takes the pin.
Man, that was shocking.
After 1,000 and something days. This was Roman's first time being pinned this decade. His last pin was in 2019.
Holy shit.
To Jey Uso. And it was a good match. Lots of storytelling here. I don't know if you. I think I sent you the tweet where I'm like, I don't know how people find this, but Roman's first ever pinfall was against Jey Uso in that same exact spot in 2013. And now
did you see the one where they I didn't see it, but somebody, I mean, they tweeted it and they said this happened, but I didn't see it, and I watched it like 4 or 5 times. Supposedly when Jey pins Roman says, "I love you," and Jey kind of squeezes his arm. At least that's what the caption said. And I watched that shit like 3 or 4 times. I was like, I don't see fucking any of this. I don't know what the fuck you people are talking about. Like, I don't see him saying "I love you," and I don't see Jey squeezing shit. He just pinned his arm, and he had his arm like in the pin position, but he didn't like squeeze or anything like that. So I don't know.
I saw a zoomed in GIF of Roman speaking, but it wasn't that easy to clarify. He was saying "I love you." Which it wouldn't have shocked me if you did.
No, that'd be cool. That's fine. But it's just like, there's some people are reaching with some of the shit that they're posting. But the Jey thing from 2013, that was dope. That was dope.
Yeah, and then Roman on the on the side of the ring, screaming.
Yeah, he was crying and shit. He was crying at one point in the match, just sitting in the ring, just crying and shit before Solo tried to go for the spike.
I liked when he was talking shit on the London fans.
Yeah, always.
I don't know, man. Roman's. It's just when you think, because I think, we both did. We pick the Usos.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know, man. Well, like I said, we got the tribal chief trial or something on Friday, as we was talking about earlier. Maybe bring Afasika or Rikishi back, somehow insert The Rock, but it seems very obvious we are getting Jey Uso and Roman at SummerSlam, which I'm all in. That's gonna be the main event of the pay-per-view.
I wonder who came up with all this shit. Like, who is it is it Paul Heyman? Is it Triple H and Paul Heyman? Roman? Like,
I think it's triple. I think it's a close-knit circle of like Bruce Pritchard, Triple H, Paul Heyman, and like Roman and the Usos.
Because honestly, I don't think Bruce Pritchard has it in him. I think it's a lot of Paul Heyman, and I think it's honestly a lot of Roman, and they're just kind of, because dude, there's nothing else even like close to this storyline going on in WWE.
And you see how everything's plugging in. Like, they went back. Like, someone said a clip, like Roman said this was going to happen. And it was like at the WrestleMania press conference. He's like, this is about me, elevating me and my family, putting my family over. And it's like, well, fuck, you did it. It's just here's what we'll say it. What do you do after SummerSlam?
Yeah, that's the thing. I keep saying,
we keep
now
saying
what?
It.
Yeah.
And
it's like, now what? And then they just add another layer. And they've even removed Sammy and Kevin from the equation, and like they're doing their own shit now. Like, they're not even involved in this shit anymore.
At this point, after Jay, maybe you go Jimmy. Okay, so maybe at Payback in September you'll go Jimmy, right? But even then, like after Jimmy and Jay get their shots, because as dope as it would be for Jay to be the one, Jay's not going to be the one. I really just don't think it is. Where the fuck do you go after that?
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, they bring The Rock back.
Man. Right? Because they're still, everyone
have The Rock bring in Gorillas of Destiny. Like, I wanted them to come in this week. That's like a super stretch, but have him bring Gorillas of Destiny in. There you go.
But bam. I'll say this, like because all the reports keep saying Cody and Roman's running it back, which I'm cool with. We'll see, because you know what I mean, how they do it. Because I don't know if you've heard what Cody said at the press conference.
No.
Pretty much someone said, is winning the world title finishing the story? And Cody pretty much said no, but yes, like winning the world heavy championship would be an honor. But to win the title that my father never won is really finishing the story.
Yeah.
Which would be fine. You can somehow, I bet you they can make that storyline good somehow. So I'm not really worried about it. I don't care that they're running it back, like whatever. But here's the thing. We were all thinking Cody was going to win because what else could happen? I'll admit, since Cody's lost, the bloodline stuff's been great. But eventually it's going to hit that point where it's not going to be smooth between now and, say, February, when, say, Cody challenges or whatever. So you got August. So what do you do from August to February, regardless, to keep Roman like going? Relevant. Like, not saying Roman needs to be relevant, but you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Even if you go September, Jimmy challenges in September. That's a whole season. That's the whole fall and like early winter. What are you doing with Roman?
That's hard, man. Bobby
Lashley should be in there. I still can't believe he must be hurt. He must be dealing with something, because Triple H has been doing Bobby Lashley.
Oh yeah, we still haven't seen him, bro.
Yeah, because Triple H and Vince were both high on Bobby. So Bobby has to be recovering from something. There just has to be.
Maybe he's fucking got surgery on that goddamn shoulder he keeps taking suplexes on.
So you could throw Bobby in there. If you somehow make Karrion Kross relevant, maybe throw him in there.
Good luck with
AJ Styles. You got AJ Styles.
Yeah.
So
but the thing with AJ, see, the thing that bugs me out about AJ is that, like, you got to get him away from this OC shit. Like, it's not, I mean, because you don't have really a bloodline anymore. It's the Usos are out, so it's just Roman and Solo. So you can't.
Now does Solo break up here?
Nah, I think Solo's just, he's like that enforcer. He's there to protect Roman. I don't think he's gonna go anywhere, even though he's beefing with his own fucking brothers, which doesn't make sense.
I don't know, man. I could see Solo going on his own. I think at the Rumble, maybe Solo and Roman.
I mean, I don't see why not. But yeah, but AJ, like, he got to get away from that OC shit. And wearing all those goofy colors with all that shit. Like, bro, you got to go back to being the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't need anybody, bro. He doesn't need to have people with him.
I think the only reason, and I hate saying it, and I respect it because we made fun of him, more Carl Anderson. But he went back because of the bag, and they're not really doing a crazy amount with them.
Yeah, I really don't. I honestly think they don't even care about that. No, they're getting paid. They show up whenever they show up.
Yeah, they're getting older, but I honestly think Triple H has them with him just so they're somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Their OCs, their little group is back together. They're Bullet Club and WWE,
yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know, but that was the show. Good show overall. I enjoyed it. Like I said, there's a lot of fallout.
Aside from the weird Ronda Shayna thing, there really wasn't anything bad on the show or anything that was just like even mid. Like, everything was pretty good. So this is one of the better shows. You know, it was an entertaining show.
Yeah, the only LA Knight didn't win, but we'll see where it goes.
Right.
But speaking of L's, we're not going to be going into L's now. Going into nothing but the highest of the highs.
Right.
And we're going to be doing our mid-year awards. I'm going to let Lou take it from here and run us down however he wants to run this.
I wish I had like music and confetti and shit. Maybe eventually we'll work on that. We'll get some special effects and shit happening. I ain't throwing glitter up in the air. But you know, it's the midpoint of the year. Literally, I think it was yesterday or today. It's like day 188 of the year, which is literally the midpoint of the year. So we just, we like to do this thing like at the middle of the year, kind of see where we've gone the last 6 months, what's happened, what are our picks for, like, best match, MVP, men's, women's, we kind of like throw these little categories out, and it's just fun to kind of look back at half the year, because a lot of times, so much wrestling's happened, you tend to forget a lot of the stuff. So it's kind of cool to look back at the past 6 months and be like, oh yeah, I forgot. Oh, and that match and this match. So again, we try to be as broad as possible on this show when talking about different promotions and stuff. But for the most part, it's WWE, AEW with some other stuff sprinkled in. So, and it's just really the stuff that we've watched. So it's our awards that we're giving for the things we've seen. It may not be yours, because you may watch a lot of GCW or whatever else, and that's cool, but we're just going to go off of ours. So come on this little journey with us, and we'll start here with male wrestler. I guess do you want to just start from how it's set up there and just go straight down?
Yeah, this is fine.
I think it's fine. So
yeah,
I have our note here, but I copied and pasted it into another thing, and I put some of picks in here, but it's not like, usually you like to do 3, 3, 3. Some have 3, some have 5. So I'm just gonna read off the ones that I have here and try to make a pick. But so we have male wrestler of the mid-year. So for me, I have 3 names here on the list that I could think of off the top of my head. Roman Reigns, and this is not in any order. Orange Cassidy, which is very surprising to me that I have Orange Cassidy on there, and Seth Rollins. Those are my 3 right now that I have as of the year wrestlers. And I thought about maybe adding Moxley or Omega, but he's on this list later down the list, but he's been doing a lot of like trios and singles, and he's just kind of been all over the place. He was hurt for a lot of the year too. So, I mean, not this year, but he was gone for a little bit. So, I'm gonna honestly, for the mid-year, I'm gonna go with Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy right now he's on a 22 or 23 title defense
I think it's like
win
25,
streak.
26 now.
Dude, 20, let's say 25 title defense win streak. And all the matches are absolutely bananas. There's not been one match where it's been like, no. I mean, he's fucking beating everybody. Bandito, Kyle Fletcher. He just had that 4-way match with Shibata and Garcia and fucking Zack Sabre Jr. Like, he's out there having matches with like the funny thing about him is that whenever they announce a match, I'm like, okay, this is the one. He's got to lose this match. And he fucking ends up winning. I don't know how he's doing it. But dude, for right now, he's my wrestler of the year.
So for me, mine's Seth Rollins. Just between all the matches he's done, obviously winning the world heavyweight title, all the other shit, defending the title and all that. Yes, just between he had that, he did that. The feud with Logan Paul was decent. It wasn't bad. Then he wins the world title. He's insanely over with the crowd.
Right.
His was pretty easy. But I also want to give love, even though we really have only seen him like a handful of times on TV, but I had to throw Will Ospreay on there as well.
Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, I've been just a huge, huge fan, obviously, lately. So I felt he was deserving of some shine this year. And he's obviously further down my list, which I think we can say the same. But I got those two gentlemen.
Yeah, and again, subjective, you know what I mean? I could have put him on there. I could put out Dan Danielson. But
yeah, I was thinking Danielson too because of the MJF feud, what he just did.
Yeah, but it's just kind of like he hasn't wrestled that much this year. You know what I mean? So for me, Cassidy is just killing it. So for female wrestler of the mid-year, I have one name and one name only. And I wrote her name and I wrote after that in all caps, and it's not even close. So my female wrestler of the mid-year right now is Athena. It's Athena, and it's not even close. There's no one else even near her as far as what I've seen in wrestling. This woman, if you people are not watching Ring of Honor, she's going out there basically every week, and she's wrestling her ass off. She just had a fucking Chicago street fight with Kiera Hogan, which was phenomenal. Bro, these bitches, they had Athena got what do you call it? A brain buster onto thumbtacks.
Yep.
She had thumbtacks sticking all up. She had like 13 or 14 thumbtacks sticking out of her shoulder. It was horrible. And she's killing it, bro. Athena's absolutely killing it this year. Obviously we've got Rhea and Bianca and Asuka, but it's like we've talked about Rhea not being involved in shit. Asuka just won the title. She's kind of sort of not really doing anything either. They don't really have real challengers for these women. They're not going out there every week and busting their ass and having matches. So I got to go with Athena. I also Hayter. I would have loved to have put Hayter on this list, but ever since she's been involved in this angle with the fucking Outcast thing, like she's not wrestling. She's not having those badass singles matches anymore. And it's annoying, frankly. It's really annoying. I know she's hurt now, but it's fucking annoying because Jamie Hayter is great. And I want to see her out there go have bangers. And they're not allowing her to do so. So that's why I picked Athena.
Yeah, so Athena, she's going in. She was on mine. Because I had her, I have Bianca for Bianca just being Bianca. And then I had Rhea as well. Between winning the Rumble, winning the title, having a match of the year candidate with Charlotte. Even though she was pretty much good until after this natty shit. But like the match she had with Selena and everything. But yeah, so Rhea, I overall went with Rhea though for mine.
Cool. Can't go wrong with her.
Yeah.
She's amazing. She's pretty fucking tremendous. So the next category that we have here is tag team of the mid-year. And
very hard.
I honestly, we were talking about this in the pre-show. The first name that I wrote, the Usos.
Yeah.
That was the first name I wrote on the list, even though they lost their titles, but they just have been, for me, far away the best tag team that I've seen this year. I also have on this list the Motor City Machine Guns and Chris Bay and Ace Austin from Impact. These guys, bro, Motor City Machine Guns had 2 pairs of titles. They had the New Japan Strong Tag Team titles and they had the Impact World Championship titles. They held them at the same time. And their matches are always outstanding. And Bay and Austin had the Impact Tag Team Championships also. They've been having a run of matches that's tremendous. If you guys are watching Impact Wrestling, you know. So I just kind of wanted to show some love to them too in there. But I have to go with the Usos. I mean, the Usos are just storyline wise, match wise, they always deliver. They're always creative with their matches.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, I can't not go with the Usos because and really, you look at AEW, and again, this is something else we were talking about. Like their tag team division right now is a mess. You got the belts on FTR, bro. FTR hasn't defended those titles in like 94 days. They haven't defended the belts at all, and it's like
they want them, and that's it.
They win, and they're doing this CMFTR shit with CM Punk. They're doing trios matches. So why don't you go for the trios belts? Like, why do you even have the tag team titles? It's like it's just it sucks. Even fucking the Lucha Brothers. They're the Ring of Honor tag team championships. They won it at Super Card of Honor a couple months ago. They never defend those titles. I watch Ring of Honor every week. I've yet to see them defend those titles. They come out and they have 4-way matches. They have Texas Tornado matches, but they're not defending the belts. And it's like, I think just as far as booking, Tony's lost when it comes to tag teams. He's lost. He has no idea what to do with them right now. So
I don't give it to just Tony either, because the reason it's also the Usos is because ain't nobody else doing shit in all of it. Like I said, you can't put Sammy and KO in here because that was more like their independent rises just coming together.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which still created a dope moment for the year. And it was a great match the 4 of them had. But yeah, I go with the Usos just hands down. Like, just hands down.
And this,
they're main eventing.
This whole, and I know, I get it. It's funny. I'm not saying it's not funny. But this whole Kevin Owens losing his temper thing, that Sammy has to calm him down, and he's calling out like shit that, I mean, it's funny because it's like he's calling out shit that doesn't make sense, like in WWE storylines. Like these guys just decided to ask for tag team titles, and he's like, that's not how that works. You don't just come out here and ask for tag team title matches. That's not how any of this works. It's funny, but it's like that's not where I was expecting them to go with this whole like title thing. Like,
I just hope we get DIY.
Yeah, that they have tag teams in WWE. They have a lot of them. They just need to put them and make that division like actually mean something. Because you got this team with Veer and Sangha. You got DIY, who you can have out there. You can pair Bronson Lee up with someone because he's not really doing anything right now either. Street Profits, American, not American Alpha, but the Alpha Academy. You have Alpha tag teams, okay? So they need to figure that out. So that's why they're not even on my list. They're not on there. It's the Usos.
Maxine Dupree wearing another single.
Yeah, there is that. That's another reason to watch Raw tonight. Definitely a reason to watch
Raw. But Lou, when it comes to the men's match of the year, is there really any other option?
I actually have a couple here. I
left it at one because they deserve it. But yeah, I'll let you go because I'm just going to coincide
so for
yours.
men's match of the mid-year, I went back and I did research because, again, when I was saying earlier, you tend to forget about things. So WrestleMania Night 1, we had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos. That match was fucking tremendous. Storyline-wise, match-wise, physical. I mean, just a great tag team match. And one of the best matches of the year. Obviously, the Wrestle Kingdom, Omega and Ospreay, that still to me seems to be like the standard of that is the match to beat. So it's definitely on this list.
For everyone, that was mine. That was mine.
And even the one we just had, like again, on the pre-show, I said, I've left Forbidden Door off of my thing here because and also Money in the Bank, because I feel like they're too new for me to like include them into these things. So that's why the second Omega Ospreay 2 is not on here, even though it was just about as good as the first one. But that Wrestle Kingdom match was there's something about it being in Japan just added to the whole thing. But I have those two matches. I also have from WrestleMania Backlash, the San Juan Street Fight, Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. That match, the ambiance, the crowd reaction to Bad Bunny when he came out, his entrance, and the match itself was great. That was one of the highlights of the year, was that match. And
hot take here, I think the Puerto Rican crowd was better than the UK crowd.
Big time. They were nuts over there. And one more match that I had on here for a mid-match of the year was the 60-minute Iron Man match, MJF and Bryan Danielson. You tend to forget how good that fucking match was. Tremendous match.
MJF went an hour, you know. One I had on there that was torn was also WrestleMania Night 2, the triple threat for the IC title.
I wanted to ask you, where was the Sheamus Gunther match, the one-on-one match? Where was that? Because I couldn't find it. Was it on SmackDown?
The first one was Clash of the Castle. No, that was Clash of the Castle. The first one was Clash of the Castle.
Because I wanted to add
last year, because that was my match of the year.
Oh, it was last year.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
That's why I couldn't find it.
My match of the year, personally.
That's why I couldn't find it. Yeah. Because I was like, I could have sworn that match was this year.
Because that's when they were in Cardiff.
Right. Okay. Because I was gonna add that, but I couldn't find it, so I left it off. But dude, Omega and Ospreay, that's it. That's the match, man. I can't. I've seen a lot of great matches this year. I just saw quite a few at Forbidden Door. And honestly, this Independence Day card that they're having for New Japan Strong, that's tomorrow and the next day, looks tremendous. But that fucking Omega Ospreay match from Wrestle Kingdom, I can't say enough about that match. It's just the fucking greatest match, man. So tremendous.
Yeah.
Absolutely tremendous. So I have to go with that one. I really do.
Yeah, that's mine as well.
Yeah, all these other matches are tremendous, but that one just it's over the top. So for the women, we have women's mid match of the year. I have so here I have WrestleMania Night 1, Rhea Ripley defeating Charlotte Flair to win the title. That's on here. Backlash, Bianca Belair versus Io Sky. That's on here for me. And from the New Japan show, Monet versus Kairi when Monet won the title.
We have the same list.
Because those were the best matches, bro. They were the standout matches.
But Rhea and Charlotte took it for me. That's
I really feel like I'm actually torn between all three of these because I very much enjoyed all three of these matches. But I'm gonna go with Rhea and Charlotte because of how physical they were. Like that match was super physical, bro. And I really loved the Monet and Kairi match. That was my women's match of the year for
Yes.
a while. And even after WrestleMania, I still kind of had it there. But man, I rewatched that. Remember, I told you like a month or two ago, I rewatched that match.
I rewatched it recently.
It's tremendous.
Yeah, and then the other thing about it too was like that was almost the main event, and people were like, no. So everyone was kind of like, well, can that really be the main event after this Uso thing? And it definitely
but that's the thing, and we'll go back to that because we talked about it when we reviewed WrestleMania. It was like, I think it was better because it didn't headline. So they had a chip on their shoulder, like, no, you know what, motherfucker? You're going to see why this should have headlined. Because if it would have headlined, I don't think it would have been as good. I think they wouldn't have had that.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have had that little extra spice because they went in.
Yeah.
They went in. And it's what we always say about Charlotte. If she has the right dance partner, she goes to the next level, and they did that in this match. So for me,
and it's Rhea.
That's it right there. So pay-per-view.
So can I go first on this one?
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, there wasn't a bad pay-per-view so far in the past 6 months, in my opinion.
Double or Nothing was, I don't want to say bad,
but that was
not bad, but it was super mid.
But like, because Evolution, I liked. If you throw in Wrestle Kingdom in there, right?
That's on my list.
Right?
That's on there.
Wrestle Kingdom was good, right? Then Backlash was great. Even Night of Champions in Saudi was good, even though those shows. Then you had Elimination Chamber, which was good with the Sammy and Roman. Mania Night 1 in particular. But for me, the three it came down to was Mania Night 1, Wrestle King in no particular order. Mania Night 1, Wrestle Kingdom, and Backlash. And honestly, man, and this isn't a shot in New Japan. It's just that's the style, that's the tradition of how they watch. But that Backlash crowd was just so nuts that I might have to go with Backlash as my show of the year.
Yeah.
But Wrestle Kingdom, and all three of them are in like a tight race.
So I got two on here. I have WrestleMania Night 1 and I have Wrestle Kingdom. Because I went back and I looked down all the WWE pay-per-views. I went down and I did the same thing for AEW, and there was only 3, so it wasn't that hard to do. But I went down every single I think I used Fightful, and I went down the whole card of all the pay-per-views. And I started remembering shit that I was like, oh yeah, that wasn't that great, and this wasn't that great, and that, so it kind of brought the shows down a little bit. But man, WrestleMania Night 1
was great.
Tremendous. The only thing on that I wasn't in love with was Cena and Austin Theory. And even then, it wasn't horrible. It just, you could kind of see John Cena was kind of like, all right,
phoning.
Yeah, he literally phoned it in. But aside from that, I just that WrestleMania Night 1 is there. And I have Wrestle Kingdom and WrestleMania Night 1. And honestly, I think even though my match of the year was on Wrestle Kingdom, I think that I would give it to WrestleMania Night 1 because just the spectacle of it and it the main event, those two co-main events were just, I mean, phenomenal. Because there was a lot of stuff on Wrestle Kingdom that I didn't really get, I didn't really understand, I didn't really know a lot of people, but and that's our thing. But I loved the show, and I started following a lot of people because of that show. But I would definitely have to put Night 1 over it for sure. Faux show.
Yep. For most improved, I got 2 women on here.
Nice.
And the first one you're gonna like. Maybe because she's newer to me, so this is why I say most improved. But I got Willow.
Oh, wow. Why didn't I put her on this list, man? I should have put her on the list.
I got her for most improved. Like I said, this might just be me ignorant, not knowing a crazy amount about her. But to me, just seeing what she's done, how she got all the way, even like on the Forbidden Door show, even though I don't think she was intended to beat Mercedes for that title.
No, right? It was a last minute call because she got hurt.
Yeah, but even then, like, she was in that match with Mercedes, who's, like, at the time, the hottest free agent. You know what I mean? She's looking good on AEW television and all that. So I give it to her. And then this next female, I give it to her not as an improvement, because we've all known her potential, what she can do from other companies, but I had to give love to Chelsea Green.
Nice.
Because she came in, she returned at the Rumble, and was gone in 10 seconds. And I was like, oh boy, she's going to be one of these people. And then the Karen gimmick took off. She's had some decent matches. The pairing with Sonya. Now that Karen TikTok that they made of her, like,
how great that is? When you sent me that, I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I watched it like a couple hours later. And I was like, wow, what a creative fucking gimmick. That was hilarious.
And it's something with her where she is on Raw. Now, granted, you have a 3-hour television, so you have a lot to fill. But every week, it's like, I imagine they sit there thinking, all right, we need something for Seth, we need something for the Judgment Day, and we need something for Chelsea. She's on TV. And now I would throw an Alpha Academy with Maxine. But, like, the fact Chelsea's on TV every week in a good segment is great. And I think the only reason, so I heard she wasn't able to go to the UK because of visa issues. I bet you, now maybe this is just me being a mark, because I like her looks. I like what she's been doing in WWE. So this is biased Nick talking. I feel if she didn't have that issue, she would have been in Money in the Bank. Like, in the match.
Probably. Yeah.
So I give it to them too, though.
Awesome. I actually like those picks. So for me, most improved, I have LA Knight on here, because the reason I put LA Knight on here, because if you remember 1 year ago from today, that motherfucker was a manager for 2 male models. Okay. He was a manager for 2 male models. So seeing where he's at now, finally, that they've actually let him be himself and let him be LA Knight, the pops that he's getting, I'm very happy for him.
With everybody.
Yeah. And especially since WrestleMania, another thing I did not enjoy about WrestleMania was that goddamn Neon Mountain Dew match, which he was in, where he was the Royal Rumble. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was another thing that I was just like, why do you have this guy doing this shit? Where he was killed by fucking Uncle Howdy jumping off of whatever the fuck he jumped off of. So to see where he's at now makes me happy. So that's why I had him on there. I also had Orange Cassidy. Yeah. And I actually also threw Ricky Starks in, because I feel like Ricky's coming into his own now. Yeah, Ricky's coming into his own now. And he's out there. He's looking like a star. He's been healthy. So I wanted to throw him in most improved. But if I had to pick between them, I would go with LA Knight, because Orange Cassidy, I have him in most improved, but really, he's been doing that. He's just stepped it up a little bit. You know, not a little bit. He stepped it up a lot with the title. But he's always been consistently a great wrestler. But LA Knight went from managing male models to where he's at now. So that's my guy.
Yeah, I feel you. OMG moment. Now, I'll be honest. This one.
Why are you screaming?
I'm going to go. I'd like to go first, because I feel you probably put more thought into this one. But
you have OMG or you have MVP?
OMG. So, the oh my God moment. So,
okay.
Technically, when we said we were doing this is the half year. But I felt there was only 2 real ones. And like I said, maybe when you say yours, maybe I'm like, all right, that was OMG. Like, maybe I just didn't grasp OMG. But I got 2, and I feel CM Punk's return, even though we knew it's an oh my God moment, right? But then I know you didn't, but I had to include Money in the Bank. How do you not talk Roman getting pinned?
Right. Yeah. That is a big one. That is huge.
Because I know when we said going into the show that I think it was today. I think it's exactly the halfway.
Yeah.
So I had to throw it in there. Roman getting pinned at CM Punk. 2 of the biggest names in the industry. One finally taking a pinfall, and the other one returning after all the bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe I thought too much storyline there, but because you have like OMG, you have the Ricochet and Logan Paul,
right?
You have just Kenny and Omega's matches, like in general. So I don't know. Maybe I was thinking way too much into it. So
No,
I'm curious to see what you
that's
had.
perfectly cool. That's totally cool. Because mine, you'll see, it's kind of like more of the same. So I said I didn't want to include Forbidden Door in this, but I included a moment from Forbidden Door in this category. So I have 3. The first one that I wrote, all I wrote was Tiger Driver 91. That fucking bro. the thing people have to understand is that, so again, I was at the theater, I'm there with a live crowd, we're watching this match. At that point in the match, I was so fucking invested in the match that I was literally, people say, oh, I was sitting on the edge of my seat watching this movie. I was literally sitting on the edge of the seat in the theater like this, like watching the screen, like literally my ass on the end of the seat, because I was so involved in that match. And when Ospreay picked this fucker up for a Tiger Driver and dropped him on the top of his head, the scream that everyone let out at the same time in that theater was insane. Like, we were just freaking the fuck out. And then come to find out, that's actually how you hit the move.
It was nuts.
Crazy. The second one that I put on here, I talked about earlier, was the Bad Bunny pop. That moment where the camera's behind him and he comes walking out to his own song, and the way the crowd exploded when his song started was absolutely bananas. Yeah. That's definitely an OMG moment for me. And the third one that I put here is not specific, but I just wrote Sting jumping off of shit. Sting jumping off of shit. Whenever Sting jumps off of something, it's just a fucking, you see this 64-year-old man just jumping through tables and taking plunges through tables. I don't understand why, because Sting's never been that. That's the funny part. Like, Sting's never been that. Sting's never been one of those guys, ever. Even when he was young and youthful and whatever, he was never that guy. And for some reason, he turned 60 and he just wants to be jumping through shit. So those are mine. I think I'm going to go with the that Tiger Driver, just because I still can't believe that he's not dead from getting hit with that. So
that was nuts.
Absolutely crazy.
I'll let you start with MVP. Who you got in the MVP category?
MVPs, names you've been hearing all freaking episode. My mid-year MVPs, I wrote 3 people. Orange Cassidy, Seth Rollins, Jon Moxley. And I'm going to go. See, the thing is, MVP is the most valuable person. Who is the most valuable out of those 3 names that I've put out there? And I'm gonna go with that set standard. I'm gonna go with Moxley. Because I think if they didn't have Moxley in AEW, they would be in big trouble. Like big trouble. Because that dude comes out every week. He has match after match after match. He goes out there and gives it all. He hypes the crowd up. It's his whole presentation and presence. Because Orange Cassidy, if they didn't have Orange Cassidy, somebody else would be. It would be Rey Fenix in there doing all that crazy shit and jumping all over the place and doing all that crazy shit. And Seth Rollins, as much as I love Seth Rollins, the MVP is really Roman Reigns in that company. Mm-hmm. So if they didn't have Seth Rollins, and I don't want to downplay him either because he's great, but I just feel like for me, I think it's Moxley. He's the most important person in his company. So I wanted to go with him.
Yeah, so mine, I really wanted to narrow this down to 1. And my thing was, who is someone I want to see what they're doing every week? And mine's MJF.
Yeah.
Just seeing what he's doing every single. Yes, and we all know he does not wrestle as much. He's very verbal about that. You see what he said on Twitter with his cat and all that shit. You guys,
did you see what Max Caster posted on that tweet? Yo, Max Caster's hilarious, bro. So Max Caster's doing this thing where every time MJF tweets, he basically on Twitter, MJF is Max Caster's boyfriend. Like he's always saying MJF is my boyfriend. That, yes. He posted a picture the other day, not the other day, like it was a month or two ago. He posted a selfie where he was walking with MJF somewhere, and MJF looked pissed and he's smiling. And the caption that he wrote was "boyfriend reveal." And it's like he's always doing shit like that to MJF. So MJF posted a picture with the cat or whatever. He's like, "Finally, I'm home." Blah 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 blah. He's like laying in bed with the cat, and Platinum Max commented on the tweet that he posted. He wrote, "Why didn't you tag me as the photographer of this picture?" It's like, yo, you gotta calm down, bro. You gotta relax.
Yeah. So I went with that. I went with MJF just because I love it. But this next one is all you. I'm gonna think of something.
Oof.
But I'm leaving it in your hands.
You know, biggest the final category we have here, I added it last minute on Nick, kind of sprung it on him. Just something I was thinking about. And the category is called biggest free fall. Now, I have 5 people on this list. But I really think it only comes down to 2 people on here. And I'm gonna just go ahead and go through this list real quick. So for biggest free fall, I have Karrion Kross, Wardlow, The Miz, shockingly enough, Rhea Ripley, and Lacey Evans. So
can't argue any of them.
Karrion Kross, this dude has the look, he's got the girl, he's got the entrance, but I don't know what it is about this guy that he cannot get over. I don't think he's bad in the ring. People are saying he sucks in the ring. I don't see that. I think he's got cool moves. That Doomsday Saito looks brutal when he hits that Saito. His suplexes and all that shit look good. His finisher looks great. That fucking choke, I forgot what that choke is called that he does. I liked him in NXT a lot. So I was excited to see him jump onto the main roster, but you know, obviously he showed up. Vince put him in a fucking Mad Max outfit. He got cut. He brought him back, but it's not working. It's just not. Everything that they give this guy to do somehow just fucks up and it goes to the wayside. So I don't know what's up with him. I don't know what's going on, because when he showed up, they threw him right in there with Drew McIntyre. Like, he attacked Drew. He got in there with Roman. They put the sand thing down in the ring for Roman Reigns. So they threw him in there into the main event level. And he just, I don't know what's up with him, but I that's to me one of the biggest free falls. Wardlow.
Yeah.
Wardlow.
That's obvious.
Wardlow was red piping hot. I mean, this dude was smoking. He was so hot. Off of that MJF, when he handed the ring to CM Punk to beat MJF, it was like he was nuclear, like, over. He wins the title, perfectly fine. The title that looks good on you. It makes sense that he's champion. And then he just loses and gets it back and loses again and just gets it back again and loses again. So I don't know what the fuck is up with Wardlow. I don't know. There's a podcaster who I follow who, when he lost at the pay-per-view or whatever, I was listening to the recap that he was doing, and he was like, did Wardlow fuck Tony Khan's girlfriend or something? Like, why is it that, what does it Tony Khan have against this guy? And I thought that shit was hilarious. So the other ones on the list, The Miz has lost. I don't think he's won this year. So Miz has not won a match this year. So that, I threw him in there for that. Rhea Ripley. We talk about her every week. Why is she not involved in a feud? Why is she not wrestling? Why is she not defending the title? So kind of like, it was a bit much for me to put her on this list, but I think it's a valid question. And Lacey, come on, man. Like, she came back. She had that ex-military rah-rah gimmick, and I'm a military girl and I kick ass and I'm back. And then she came back for like a week. She disappeared. She came back as Sergeant Slaughter, Miss Sergeant Slaughter, and she's losing every match. And then they take her off TV again. And it's like, I don't understand it. So, but if I had to pick one, it's Karrion Kross. It's 100% Karrion Kross. He's just, I don't even know why he's still on the roster. And I hate to say that shit, but I
we say that because we're fans, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know, but we'll see where it goes. But overall, a good half year of wrestling. I think looking back, initial reaction, I think 2023 started off better than 2022. Like, so far, I've enjoyed wrestling a lot more this year than last year. And it's crazy because when we do the year end, we're going to be talking this. But since then, we're going to have you're going to have SummerSlam. You're going to have All In. You're going to have All Out. We're going to have Full Gear in November. They got Roadblock. They got, not Roadblock. WWE's doing Payback and Fastlane, Survivor Series. Maybe, I think, another Saudi show in there probably. So, like, there's a lot of big, like 7-8 big shows left this year. We'll see what happens. See if anyone's going to change our opinions from this list now in the future. But yeah, I've really enjoyed wrestling so far this year. Like,
it's been great. It's been great, and there's so much of it.
Because looking back at it, I thought the second half of 2022 was better than the first half.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's also because the old man finally left the seat.
Yeah, for real. That was a big help. But again, look at all the things that we've had this year so far, and now we're heading towards the. It's always something when you're heading towards the holidays. Things tend to pick up. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the rest of the year. AEW's got some big shows coming out. We got the fucking London show.
Yeah.
And then there's another pay-per-view the week after that. Like, we still got SummerSlam. There's a lot happening. Survivor Series is coming down the pike down there. So lots of shows. Lots and lots of shows. So just more wonderful wrestling coming. And more wrestling content coming from your boys.
Yeah. Speaking of that, you can follow me personally on Instagram and Twitter at my name right there. Yep, follow the name. But most importantly, follow the show. Because that's all I really care about. Follow the show on Twitter at wrestlingistrash and on YouTube at wrestlingistrash. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, everything. Past 2 videos have been amazing. Amazing views. Just so we appreciate the love, support. Keep bringing it back. Let us know what we could do better, too. We're both open to criticism. Let us know things we could do better. Or throw out the things you love that we do as well. Give us that criticism, whether it's good or bad. We both have thick skin. So unless you come at like our families or something, I'm pretty sure we're not gonna. Yeah, I think we'll be good. But so keep it up on YouTube. Pass that along to everyone. I'd like to think I listen to a lot of wrestling shows, and maybe I'm biased here, but I like to think we're good at not being biased towards any certain company. We give just our thoughts. We're level-headed about it. So please keep it up. And that is all I have. What you got, Lou?
Yeah, man. Lou from the BX, host of the Everything Podcast, goes to Wrestling is Trash. Go to the Everything Podcast on Instagram. From there, you can hit the link. You'll find all the stuff. Go to Wrestling is Trash on Instagram. Click on the link there, where you'll be able to find things like this, the Wrestling is Trash merch, the official shirt of the show. And yeah, man, just thank you guys so much for the likes and the follows. You guys are pushing us into the 100 mark for YouTube followers. That is tremendous. The views are crazy. I saw we got people in UK and Canada watching Wrestling is Trash. I have no fucking idea, but that's awesome. Yeah. And yeah, man, share with your friends if you enjoy wrestling. If they enjoy wrestling content, they enjoy a non-biased, polarizing show. Send it off, man. Send it off just to see if they like it. If they don't like it, cool. But at least send it off. Just if you're enjoying it, I'm sure one of your friends is going to enjoy it too. So from Nick and myself, we thank you guys very much. We are going to bid you adieu. and enjoy wrestling, guys, as always.
Peace.